Okay, Sean, you can go.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the meeting of Smith Falls Town Council for Monday, December 4th. I will open the meeting with our land acknowledgement. On December 4th, 2023, we acknowledge that the sacred land in which Smith Falls is now located has been a site of human activity for over 10,000 years and is rich in Indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We are grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who care for the land and water in order we might meet here today. We're also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in the making of the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smith Falls. We are mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace and friendship, being mindful of generations to come. I'll call the meeting to order. We have a couple of amendments to our agenda based on items that have come forward from our committee of the whole meeting just previous. I'll ask Councillor McKenna for approval of the agenda.
Yes, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McGuire, that the December 4th, 2023 regular council meeting agenda be approved as circulated.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McKenna, second by Councillor McGuire, that December 4th, 2023 regular council meeting agenda be approved as circulated. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. I'll ask for disclosure of pecuniary interest and or conflict of interest and general nature thereof. I see none. Approval of minutes. Let's go Councillor Brennan, please.
Sorry, moved by myself, second by Councillor Quinn. The minutes of November 6, 2023 and November 27, 2023 council meetings be approved as circulated.
Thank you. And it's moved by Councillor Brennan and seconded by Councillor Quinn that the minutes of the November 6, 2023 and November 27, 2023 council meetings be approved as circulated. All in favor? That 2 is carried. Thank you. Okay, council reports, updates, announcements. We'll start with reports. Councillor Quinn, I believe you're first.
Thank you, Your Worship. November the 21st, I attended a Real Deal meeting. We have work going on there to winterize the building. They're really being quite aggressive on selling more, getting new ideas for marketing, hoping for a 2-year lease, and then we have to address what's going to happen there because that particular building is in need of a lot of repairs. We have to get our heads around what we're going to do within the next 2 years. They have plans for a small forest, which is very interesting, and town staff are working with them to find a location for them, which they have already. So that's wonderful. The 23rd, I had a Cataraqui Trail meeting, and they're right now in the process of selling memberships, which are $25 a year. That money goes into helping to keep the trail, fixing things that need to be fixed. They're also looking at ways to raise money, like selling benches, and we're hoping to have a few of these added to the town. And a dog waste station is also being asked for here in the town of Smith Falls, so I'd like to see staff address that issue. And they were totally thrilled with the idea of having a trailhead here in Smith Falls. The only issue that I was finding was that most of these people have not been in Smith Falls lately, and they do not realize how much growth we have here and how many potentially new people that can have walking the trail. They don't realize that there's all those new houses and new people moving into that area, but they're very, very happy. On December the 2nd, I attended the lighting in Centennial Park. Beautiful, just gorgeous. On December the 1st, did the grand opening of the new sidewalk on Old Slides Road. Ron Stronsky was so proud, and Ron Stronsky walked the whole sidewalk, which was wonderful to see him there. He has worked on this for 18 years and never gave up. 18 years ago, myself and Ron had our pictures taken standing where this new sidewalk is now. So it's wonderful, and people have been making comments about how great it was. And I want to thank Councillor Miller, Councillor Brennan, Director Paul McMunn, Linda Stronsky, and Megan from Heritage House Museum. She was there to do photographs. And those are my reports, and I do have a few announcements. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions of Councillor Quinn? No. Councillor Miller, you're next.
Thank you. November was a busy month. Councillors Robinson and Brennan and I attended the Salvation Army Christmas campaign kickoff, and their kettles are now out and funds go to support the good work that they do during the holiday season. I just wanted to give a hats off to our very busy Downtown Business Association. They've had a great month, and their Christmas market in particular was really special. The Junkyard Symphony was a highlight for me. It was a lot of fun. It was really nice to celebrate the season in our new bandstand, so looking forward to more performances there. The library is busy planning their temporary move to the old post office, and the staff will close on December 11th to begin packing and moving, and they hope to open in the new space by December 20th. But I would encourage people to watch their Facebook page for updates, as we know sometimes moves don't go as smoothly as planned, but fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Councillor Miller? Councillor McKenna.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll start with the bad news first. I attended the provincial conference of local public health units last week. It was a virtual meeting for 2 days, and the Chief Medical Officer of Health for Ontario, Dr. Moore, informed the group that last year Canadians and Ontarians' life expectancy our life expectancy went down for the first time in probably 100 years. And he attributed that to COVID as well as to the toxic drug supply. So young people, the loss of so many young lives brings our overall average life expectancy down. So that's the bad news. The good news is we can put that, get back on the right track by getting vaccinated. And in particular, Christmas is 3 weeks away. It takes 10 days to 2 weeks for the vaccination to take have full effect. So if you go this week to your pharmacist, your doctor, almost anywhere, get your vaccination as a Christmas present to yourself and to your family. It will be in full, robust protection mode by Christmas when we all get together. Wash your hands, and of course, wear a mask in crowded indoor places. And finally, December 6th, there's a vigil being held next door here at the town square at 3 o'clock to honor or to remember the murdered women from Polytechnique in Montreal so many years ago. So don't mean to be such a downer, but I hope people can attend. That's Wednesday, I believe. It's a short service. I hope people can make it out. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Councillor McKenna? Hearing none, I've got a couple of reports myself. November 17th, Councillor McKenna and I attended the Lanark County Council budget meeting. This is an annual event, usually takes about a half a day. And I don't think we discussed it around the horseshoe yet, but there's a pretty significant increase to our share through our shared services agreement for 2024. A lot of budget discussion that day, but essentially the budget that was presented by staff was approved by committee. And we're seeing major increases. Lanark Lodge, our allotment up 14.7%, our share of ambulance up 9%, our share in costing of social housing up 15.5%, and our share of Ontario Works up 2.3%. And that really relates to simply the increase in cost for all those services and a pretty significant increase in our weighted assessment. So overall, the impact to the town is an increase of 9.2%, bringing an increase of 9.2% or 223,774, which brings our annual commitment through the shared services agreement to 2.649 million. And of course, as a single tier municipality, we're grateful for Lanark County and the role they play in providing these services to us. And Councillor McKenna and I really had, there was nothing to dispute or to not approve in the situation that provides great value to our community. And on November 29th, last week, Smith Falls Police Service and Police Service Board held 2 strategic planning public consultations at the Memorial Community Center. And they weren't well attended, but the presentation is now, I believe, up on the town website for anybody who has not seen it yet. And the public survey, it will be available through this week, and it closes late Friday afternoon. But again, we're simply looking for feedback from the community as a police service board, police service drafts its new strategic plan to guide the service for the next 4 years. And that's it for my reports. I do have one proclamation which does speak to Councillor McKenna's final comments there. And it's the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women, December 6, 2023. Whereas 32 years ago, December 6, 1989, a massacre occurred at the Canadian University at Sugar Nation. A young man walked into a École Polytechnique de Montreal and killed 14 women and injured another 10. And whereas established in 1991 by the Parliament of Canada, December 6 was marked as a National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women. And whereas on average, every 6 days, a woman in Canada is killed by her intimate partner. And this year, thousands of women will face violence in the form of harassment, assault, intimate partner violence, and many other forms of abuse. And whereas ending violence against women can be achieved through constant reminders of our responsibility to treat all members of society with dignity and respect. And whereas we can work towards eliminating violence against women through our individual actions and naming the violence when we witness it, supporting those affected, whether it be at school, workplace, or in public places. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Sean Panko, hereby proclaim December 6, 2023 as a National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women in the town of Smiths Falls. I also have a couple of brief announcements just regarding our upcoming meeting schedule. We will have a regular committee of the whole meeting next week, December 18th. As mentioned briefly, will be our special committee of the whole, the first draft of budget. I know we are all looking forward to that. December 18th will also be a regular meeting of council. There will be no meeting December 27th or January 2nd, and we will resume with regular committee of the whole on January 8th. As mentioned in committee of the whole and upcoming in this council meeting, the Smiths Falls for All Committee has been active. Its next meeting is scheduled for 9 a.m. on December 14th in the council chambers, and of course the public is welcome to attend. Our police service board meeting, police service board will meet this Friday, December 8th at 8 a.m. at the municipal complex as well in the council chambers for anyone in the public who is interested in attending. So moving on to our agenda, our consent agenda number 8 item is with Councillor Miller, please.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McKenna that items in consent report number 011-2023 received from the clerk be received and adopted.
Thank you. Is there any item on that consent agenda anyone would like to pull and discuss separately? Seeing none, it's moved by Councillor Miller and seconded by Councillor McKenna that the items in the consent report 011-2023 received from the clerk be received and adopted. And Clerk Costello, you want to review those items, please?
Thank you. We have 3 bylaws this evening on consent report 011-2023. The first being a bylaw to regulate the temporary occupancy of outdoor patios and merchandise displays. That was discussed on November 27th at the Special Committee of the Whole. We also have a bylaw for lifting part lot control. That again was discussed November 27th at our Committee of the Whole. And the final bylaw is to award the RFP, the request for proposal for the ice water equipment and helmets to AJ Stone Company. And again, that was discussed at the November 27th Committee of the Whole.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. On to motions. Back to you, Councillor Miller.
Thank you. So moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Quinn that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute the necessary documentation, appointing Sean Panko and Malcolm Morris as signing officers for all banking procedures, with Stephen Robinson or Don Quinn and Carrie Costello, Nadine Bennett or Stephen Dickey as their alternates respectively. And further that Malcolm Morris, Ellen Leach, Nadine Bennett, Tanya Rose, Brandy Phillips, Brianne Harper, Stephen Dickey, Vicki Thompson, Dana Sullivan, Sandra Waters, Sierra Swindles, Scott Sabarin, and Carrie Costello be authorized to pick up from and deliver to the Royal Bank various banking documents on behalf of the corporation. And further that resolution 2023-03-87 be hereby rescinded.
Thank you. Discussion, please.
Thank you. So due to the retirement of the current Director of Corporate Services, the town has to appoint an interim treasurer to oversee all of our financial affairs. And this also updates our banking authorities. So I know we'll all want to thank Director Bauman for her work with us and to welcome back our interim treasurer, Mr. Dickey.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, it's moved by Councillor Miller, second by Councillor Quinn. The mayor and clerk be authorized to execute the necessary documentation, appointing Sean Panko and Malcolm Morris, assigned officers for all banking procedures, with Stephen Robinson or Don Quinn, and Kerry Costello, Nadine Bennett, or Stephen Dickey as the alternates respectively. And further that Malcolm Morris, Ellen Leach, Nadine Bennett, Tanya Rose, Brandy Phillips, Brianne Harper, Stephen Dickey, Vicky Thompson, Dana Sullivan, Sandra Waters, Sierra Swindell, Scott Sebra, and Kerry Costello be authorized to pick up from and deliver to the Royal Bank various banking documents on behalf of the corporation, and further resolution 2023-03-87 be hereby rescinded. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Moving on to our bylaws. Councillor Brennan, you're up first.
Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to regulate and or prohibit signs and advertising devices within the town of Smith Falls be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Brennan and seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to regulate or prohibit signs and advertising devices within the town of Smith Falls be received or read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, please, Councillor Brennan.
Yeah, this has been much discussed, I think, 3 times at committee of the whole. And so it's a bylaw that was been in place since 1994. Council had many concerns, took it back to staff a couple of times. I want to thank staff for consulting and with the sign makers and the business community, and came up with a bylaw that we agreed on. So thanks to staff for that. And as I said, it's an update of a bylaw from 1994.
Okay, thank you. Further discussion, Councillor McGuire.
Thanks, Your Worship. I'd like us to defer voting on this further tonight because in the bylaw, it references the senior planner position, which I don't believe exists anymore. There's 14 references to the senior planner position in the bylaw as it's currently drafted, and the definition of the senior planner position in the bylaw is simply the senior planner is the senior planner. One of the lines in the bylaw to show the problem with it is 4.1, this bylaw shall be administered and enforced by the senior planner. So I'm not sure why that specific wording was used in this, but I'm just worried that if we pass this tonight, it's going to be out of date tomorrow. So I'd ask that we push it till it can be, the language can be cleaned up.
Thank you. I will turn to staff to provide, I guess, direction on this proposed deferral, or is there a possibility the wording this will be adjusted? CM Morris?
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. So I believe the issue is it was drafted, of course, when Mr. Grenke was senior planner. I would state that the position still exists. On a practical level, it would be the manager of development services that would administer it. So I think to make it crystal clear, we would want to update the language to reflect the manager of development services. So that could be an administrative change after it's passed, or we could certainly make that change and bring it back. It's whatever council wishes to do, but it's a point well taken, and it needs to reflect our current structure, not the structure that was in place when it was first drafted.
Okay, well, thank you. And now I know there is no special meeting of council scheduled for next week. Oh, I do believe there's an item coming forward that is sensitive, time sensitive, for the committee meeting that would, if supported, would require a response and a resolution by council. So I'm suspecting there may be one next week. So I don't know if there's a need to pass this tonight. If there's, we've had the first and second reading. If it's fine, we can defer this, get the language corrected, and this can return at the next opportunity, I would say, whether that be next week or the week after. Okay. So I'll leave it at that. We'll move ahead with the agenda then. Circle back.
Mayor?
So item, yes, Councillor Brennan.
Yeah, sorry, I did have, I had a hand up. I think it's semantics. It's just language in a bylaw that could be adjusted some, administratively. The gist and the thrust of the bylaw remains, and the to regulate, prohibit signs, advertising devices in the town of Smith Falls. All those regulations and rules that we all agreed on are still there. It's just the name of a position. So I don't see why we have to defer it.
Is there other sentiment around the horseshoe? Like, Councillor Miller, I can't see everybody very well. Councillor Miller has her hand up.
Thank you. I'm with Councillor Brennan. I think that's an administrative change that doesn't change the bylaw. I think we have great staff who can just adjust that wording and we can pass it tonight.
Councillor McGuire?
I guess I don't know what I'm passing tonight if I don't have the wording and I can't read it. I haven't been able to find a single other sign bylaw that references a specific role. Most of the other ones reference planning departments. And it's just with that change from it being a role to a department, I think would be the more resilient way to do it. I'd just like to see the wording before we pass it. I don't know that there's a bunch of signs that are going to go up between this week and next week, but I just don't, for me, it just doesn't feel like good practice to pass a bylaw that we don't have written in front of us that we haven't read yet. So I would prefer we wait.
Would anyone else like to chime in? Councillor Quinn or McKenna? Councillor Quinn?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm going to direct this question to CAO Morse. Is this something that can be done afterwards? If we pass this tonight, is there going to be something stopping the change of the wording?
So through His Worship, I would answer that by saying that if council directs us to change it, we will do that before it's executed, before the bylaw is executed by signature of the mayor and clerk. So I'm comfortable that we can administer the change, but council needs to be comfortable with the direction they give to staff. This, I don't think it's necessarily time sensitive, but this I would characterize as an administrative change that would not change the intent of the bylaw.
Okay, so with that, what I can confirm with council is that I will review the bylaw when it's presented to me for signature and ensure that the wording is updated. And I guess the question before us is, should we, to Councillor McGuire's comment, would we indicate the planning department or we indicate a specific position within the planning department? Theo Morris, do you have a comment?
Thank you, Your Worship. It really doesn't matter. Both are subject to change. Positions change and departments change. So that, again, is an administrative function. Given the size of the town, it's not atypical for a position to be granted that authority. I'm comfortable with either way, but certainly referencing the manager of development service is entirely workable from a staff point of view.
Okay, so we'll move ahead with that. I'm going to move to the third reading and call the question. Well, Councillor McGuire?
Thanks, Your Worship. If we are moving forward, then I've got comments on the bylaw before it's voted on again. I'd like to ask for a recorded vote tonight. I'm very frustrated that the provisions that the Heritage Committee was consulted on have been removed. What was being requested is not unprecedented and it's not unusual, I don't think, for we've had these downtown design guidelines for many years. We implemented a community improvement plan to be a carrot over a stick. to get changes to happen. The changes still aren't happening, and we have a chance tonight, or we have had a chance several nights to entrench that into the new sign bylaw, and we continually choose not to, and we continually push that decision down the road. At this point, it seems to be the Municipal Heritage District. I want to give some wording of how other areas have put these things through. For example, wording could have been sign materials used in the construction of signs to be located in the downtown zone shall be wood or a material that gives the appearance of wood. Applications for signs in the downtown zone shall be reviewed by the Municipal Heritage Committee for comment. Signs that use materials outside of this scope must demonstrate how they complement the age and style of the building. No luminous signs shall be installed within the special sign zone. Internally lit signs are not permitted. Light source must be directed to the sign such that it does not shine into the adjacent property or cause glare for motorists or pedestrians. So I think whether it's dark skies provisions or municipal heritage, there's really well-established precedents that are working very well for other communities. So I'm very disappointed we're not going to include any of that into this bylaw. And just overall, it's a difficult bylaw to read and understand what it's trying to accomplish. And, you know, it starts with the definitions such as the chief building official shall mean the chief building official. It's like when the bylaw starts with that kind of clarity, to me, it just seems to get worse as we get into it. So I won't be supporting this tonight. I'm interested to see what the Municipal Heritage Committee is thinking about this new bylaw tomorrow at our meeting. But it's very disappointing that for all the time and effort that's gone into this, I don't see any tangible improvement for our community by passing it. So I won't be supporting it.
Okay, thank you, Councillor McGuire. Any further comments? And what I would say to that effect, Councillor McGuire, this moves ahead tonight. No bylaw is permanent. And if there's suggestions that come forward in the future, it can be considered by committee of the whole. So I'll move ahead with the question. Moved by Councillor Brennan and seconded by Councillor Miller that a bylaw to regulate or prohibit signs and advertise devices in the town of Smith Falls be now read a third time if I pass sign sealed and numbered 10499-2023, and a recorded vote has been requested by Councillor McGuire.
Thank you. Regarding a bylaw to regulate or prohibit signs and advertising devices within the town of Smith Falls, I would ask that each elected official answer with either yay or nay. Councillor Brennan?
Yay.
Councillor Quinn?
Yay.
Councillor Miller? Yay. Councillor McKenna?
Nay.
Councillor Robinson is absent. Councillor McGuire?
Nay.
And Mayor Panko?
Yay.
Carried.
Thank you. Moving on ahead with our agenda, item 10.2, back to you, Councillor McGuire.
Sorry, here I've got too many tabs going. Just a sec. All right, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McKenna that a bylaw to appoint Stephen Dickey as the interim treasurer for the town of Smith Falls be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. By Councillor McGuire and seconded by Councillor McKenna that a bylaw to appoint Stephen Dickey as interim treasurer for the town of Smith Falls be received, read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Discussion, please, Councillor McGuire.
Thanks, Your Worship. As we wish Myra the best as she moves on to her next role, Stephen Dickey is going to be taking over as treasurer, and under the Municipal Act, we need to appoint someone into that role. So that fills that requirement today.
Thank you. Third reading. Any further comments? We have a third reading, please.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McKenna that a bylaw to appoint Stephen Dickey as the interim treasurer for the town of Smith Falls be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10500-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McGuire, seconded by Councillor McKenna, that a bylaw to appoint Stephen Dickey as the interim treasurer for the town of Smith Falls be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10500-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. On to item 10.3, Councillor McKenna.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw to amend bylaw 10457-2023, being a bylaw to adopt the terms of reference for the Smith Falls for All Committee, be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Quinn that a bylaw to amend bylaw 10457-2023, being a bylaw to adopt the terms of reference for the Smith Falls for All Committee, be received or read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, please, Councillor.
Yes, Your Worship, on a practical sense, we're trying to get members of the committee a more youthful voice to be heard at that committee. So we're lowering the age from 18 as a minimum to 16, and up to 2 younger people would be more than welcome to participate. 16, 17, 18, 19, they're all welcome. And we also are adding a member from the police services force as well. And I think in today's climate in the world where there's so much adversity and fighting going on, anything that we can do to bring our community together, diversity is a strength. And this committee really wants to make sure that those voices are all heard and that everyone feels welcome here.
Well said. Thank you. Any further comments? We have third reading, please.
Again, moved by myself, second by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw to amend bylaw 10457-2023, being a bylaw to adopt the terms of reference for the Smith Falls for All Committee, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10501-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Quinn that a bylaw to amend bylaw 10457-2023, being a bylaw to adopt the terms of reference for the Smith Falls for All Committee, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10501-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And Councillor Quinn, you have our final bylaw.
Thank you, Your Worship. By myself, second by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to authorize the execution of a loan renewal agreement with RBC respecting the long-term financing requirements for 2 projects financed in 2013 be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Miller that bylaw to authorize the execution of a loan renewal agreement with RBC respecting the long-term financing requirements for 2 projects financed in 2013 be received for the first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Quinn?
This is an ongoing loan that was started in 2013. We were buying a pelletizer and the police building. And so we have decided this evening that what we will do is refinance for 2 years with 5.71% interest and see what happens as time moves on, and maybe hopefully interest rates will come down. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments? We have a third reading, please. Oh, sorry. Move. I didn't state my part. Move by Councillor Quinn. No, sorry. I did. Third reading, please.
Thank you. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to authorize the execution of a loan renewal agreement with RBC respecting the long-term financing requirements for 2 projects financed in 2013 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10502-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Miller that a bylaw to authorize the execution of a loan renewal agreement with RBC respecting the long-term financing requirements for 2 projects financed in 2013 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10502-2023. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Inquiries and announcements. Councillor Brennan, I believe you had something to share.
Yeah, just wanted to let everyone know yesterday was a real terrible weather day, and the Heritage House Museum had planned their Christmas annual Christmas get together, and that was canceled. So I'm pleased to say that that's going to happen on Sunday, December 10th, this coming Sunday, and everyone's welcome to come and enjoy some treats and wagon rides, and there may be a couple of special guests there. One I know of for sure. So he wears red. That's one of 3.
Thank you.
One 1 to 3.
Okay, perfect. Councillor Quinn?
Thank you, Your Worship. December the 9th, I'm reporting this because our council rep for the Railway Museum is away. So it is the North Pole Express at the Railway Museum. This will be the last of that happening this year. And don't forget, December the 9th is the Santa Claus Parade here in Smith Falls. Need to see everybody out smiling and waving and being happy. Thank you. Oh, one other thing, sorry. As
Sure.
people know, I have a committee where we put out gifts for lonely seniors. And right now we are at 265 names and growing. And it's coming along great. So we're going to be smiles out there for lonely seniors. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Quinn. And Councillor Quinn, back to you for the confirmatory bylaw.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meetings on the 6th and the 27th days of November 2023 be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Quinn, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting on the 6th and 27th days of November 2023 be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Anything further to discuss on this, Councillor Quinn?
No, Your Worship. Moved by
Just
myself.
third reading.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meetings on the 6th and 27th days of November 2023 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10503-2023.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor Quinn, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting on the 6th and 27th days of November 2023 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10503-2023. Carried. Thank you. On to adjourn. Councillor McKenna.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor McGuire, that this council adjourn its proceedings at 18:18 and stand so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor McGuire. This council adjourns proceedings at 6:18 p.m. Stand so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council. All in favor? We are adjourned. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.